Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. The thing is like teetering. I'm like, oh no, thought it was gonna fall, but I think it's all right. So, we're moving on with CPTSD, group therapy. Group therapy has powerful benefits that individual therapy can't provide. It can be intimidating at first, however, the reward outweighs risk. For example, talking about your trauma with others who have similar histories can help you feel more comfortable with your past and reduce your sense of isolation. You can develop relationships with others who understand what you have been through, and in doing so, discover that you're not alone. Sometimes it's important to have individual therapy prior to entering group therapy to be able to tolerate the vulnerability of sharing with others, but it is also common to attend group and individual therapy simultaneously. There are two different kinds of groups: skills-based psychoeducation groups that focus on cultivating personal skills like mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotional regulation, and interpersonal relationship management, and process groups that use interaction with other attendees to provide opportunity to establish trust, give and receive feedback, and work through conflicts in real time. In truth, we all need each other to heal relationship wounds. Unfortunately, our culture has collective blind spot when it comes to vulnerable emotions. This stigma exists even in a healthy home. You may have been taught to minimize your pain, to pretend that you were fine when you weren't, or to gloss over feelings in order to heal. It's important to release your conditioning of hiding and to recognize that others share your longing for authentic presence. Therapy groups provide a safe container for opening up and healing in a community setting. And just like with a therapist, and I know many of you guys kind of feel like, I don't really like therapists, which I think it's very weird for people. Like, think about how many people are in the world, and there's certain people that you're like, I like that person, and then there's other people that are like, I do not like that person, and then there's people who you're just like indifferent to. And so this whole process of like, hey, set me up and here I go to this person, the chances of you liking that person are like 1 out of 3, like, she's alright, I can't stand her, or I love her, basically is what it comes down to. So if you do try to find a therapist, maybe try to shop for one too. There's free apps now too that will let you do that. Like, they're not going to hold it against you for not connecting with a certain therapist. And sometimes in our society where we are now, texting is easier for people than communicating face to face, or physically getting up and going somewhere. You may be more comfortable behind a screen talking to somebody, and at least it gets it going for you. Now with group, you could get this out of things. Like, I've tried to offer group stuff before. I've done group, thingies of various degrees. Like, back in the day, I used to do like a starseed support group, and that was pretty cool. People like that. I tried to do it online, but it just didn't. It's hard to do a group therapy online unless we're all going to be live together, like with a Zoom call, like the High Priestess Mystery School teachings. That could have been a great group therapy for people in a certain area, you know what I mean? Like they said, like, some of them are based on this and some of them are based on that. You will get something out of connecting with a group of like-minded people, regardless of your likeness. Like, if you want to go to a group of hunting people, go to a group of hunting people. If you want to go to a group of tarot readers, go to a group of tarot readers. If you need group healing, like maybe you have addictions, you could find, there's been, back in the day when I was like forced to go to AA meetings for like, being on I had gotten in trouble, and like they were like, you need to go there. So I went there, but there's some that are good and there's some that are not good. You gotta find the one that's good. And I think so many of us at this day and age, we're used to things being easy or quick. It's like we go to the drive-thru, we go to the microwave, we go to all these fast, easy things all the time. So when we're like, oh, I went to one group and it sucked, we're not giving it our all in finding that right group. We're not giving it our all in finding that right person. And it's hard for us to do that because we're depressed, because we're sad, because we're traumatized. we're not looking like excitedly for more people to traumatize us, or hurt us, or lie to us, or belittle us, or make us feel however others have made us feel. But if you are wanting to heal and you're wanting to change things in your world, you got to find the right way for you. And I think the spiritual community can be the great group for you. Even though what I went through with the people that I had as a community, like where it led, it wasn't all of them. It was one person that kind of like fucked up the whole thing. But it showed the colors of people. You know what I mean? It's like, you love me, but you're just gonna let this happen, or you're gonna say the things that were said to me that were like, oh, I'm sorry. That's like, okay, bye. I'm just gonna hide over here and not go near people anymore. So I get it. I get if you don't want to be in a group setting, or if you don't want to have those types of things. So, maybe just try to find something that you can do once in a while, even if you like just go to bingo, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just be something that you do once in a while. Like me going to work has forced me to meet new people, and it's good because it's like, oh hey, we get to know each other, we're having fun, bop it a boop, it's laughy. Just like me going online forced me to connect with people online that I never would have connected with. Didn't force me, but it, you know what I mean. It's like we meet the people. So find a Reiki clinic, or find something that you're interested in, or do the live. Like when I do the lives, that's become like a group of people. Like I know the certain people, we get to know each other, we get messages, we watch people shift, and people are like, oh, how you doing? They talk back and forth. So you got to find your way, or make your way. I think a lot of starseeds we're starters. We're not going to follow along someone else. We're going to want to start our own thing. So just make a starseed support group. Make a trauma-based group for yourself. Wherever you are, whatever you want to do. It could be addiction-based. It could be anything that you've been through or are going through. It could even be fun. It could be like a paint night. It could be like a craft place. It could be a book thingy. It could be anything. And if you did like a book thing, right? You could do books like this. You could be like, let's do a trauma book group. Anybody who's been through trauma, let's read some traumatic books. And then let's heal the trauma. But you know what I mean? Like just something that's different. Do whatever you feel guided to do, but try to do something that will help you to regain faith in the world, that there are good people, even if you do get burned by good people in the end, who you thought were good people. There'll be a reason for it. It makes you stronger, and it will make you be like, I'm never gonna be like that person. I'm gonna become a better person because that's not how bad you are. EMDR therapy is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It is developed by Dr. Francine Shapiro, and it is a comprehensive approach to therapy that integrates elements of several different therapies. It is structured to treat PTSD by identifying triggering memories, emotions, beliefs, and sensations. It relies on the concept that with sufficient support, you'll have the capacity to process and digest traumatic events. As a result, you'll be able to let go of the self-critical beliefs, painful emotions that you may have. So 8-phase treatment model, EMDR therapy, uses treatment models split into 8 phases. Maybe we should do that tomorrow. Well, no, I guess not. Whatever. Here we go. The initial phases prepare you to process the trauma by identifying traumatic memories and the negative beliefs associated with them. You then review your history by taking an in-depth look at your symptoms. For example, feelings of insecurity are understood to be symptoms that are rooted in historical experiences. The desensitization phase incorporates the use of dual awareness state, in which you are asked to remain aware of your present moment experience while simultaneously recalling memories of the traumatic event. Dual attention is amplified using stimulation in the form of eye movements, buzzers, or tones that alternate between the left and right side of your body. Later phases of EMDR therapy focus on strengthening positive beliefs. So, like, trying to keep yourself present in this moment of, like, Feel the temperature of the room. Feel the, like, what is your body doing? Like, my eyes have been watering. My eyes water all the time for some stupid reason. But, you know what I mean? Like, being present in the moment. Like, awareness of my eyes are watering. It's making my nose run. Because I did makeup. Like, I did my makeup and now I'm... But, as I'm doing that, right, I can recall... While we're reading about this, I'm just thinking of the time that they sent me to outpatient. It was at the Pembroke Hospital, which the Pembroke Hospital around here, everybody's like, oh, the Pembroke Hospital. It's like the crazy place, okay? Ooh, you're crazy. I went there. I didn't go inpatient, okay? So I'm not that deep in. But I've been inpatient in other places. But this place was like an outpatient group setting where it was like, we're going to talk about our feelings and baba da boobs. And it wasn't a great fit for me because the other girls that were in there in my class had nothing in common with me. They were both like, had eating disorders. They both had like some other shit going on. I think one of them was like handicapped, like mentally, stunted. They weren't fully aware. You know what I mean? So it was like, I'm just a drug addict. Like, I was just a drug addict that was, upset about life. I was sad and addicted to drugs. But they sent me there with these other people, and it was just like a waste of time. It was an outpatient 7 to 3, like, wasted my whole time. So, I can go back and thinking of that, how that was detrimental to me now. You know what I mean? But I'm still trying to hold the awareness of, like, what my body is right now in this moment. Like, even though I went through that, it shaped things. And it brought me here to where I can help other people and be like, if you're walking to a place like that, don't let it be detrimental to you. Don't think of that as the only group in the world. Like, where do you thrive? Like, do you have a bowling buddy, people that you love? That can be your group therapy. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, So, resources for EMDR therapy-based trauma recovery. The preparatory phase of EMDR therapy involves building resources to be able to attend to the frightening and sometimes overwhelming trauma-related memories. These resources include a safe place. Here, you identify a place that is either real or imagined and where you feel safe, allowing your body and mind to have a preference place that supports relaxation and ease. So, create a safe place in your mind, or a safe place in your home, or a safe place that you go to that's like outside. Like, I'm going to go to that tree that makes me feel safe. Containment. Here, you develop an imagined container, a place or item that is big and strong enough to hold painful thoughts, feelings, and memories. The container is meant to be used temporarily during times when you are not actively engaged in the processing of your traumatic memories. So, like, all right, let's make like a big freezer with a lock on the door, or whatever, man, whatever you want it to be. Freezer to me is just the first thing that popped up, so it probably should be the thing because, like, I can freeze that shit. All right, let's just freeze that shit, go live our life. Well, that's frozen, and when I want to get in there, all right, here we go. Let's unpack this shit and thaw it out. You know what I mean? But make it make sense for you. Allies. Here, you identify imagined or real beings that are your associates. Well, we've got plenty of that. And nurturance, protection, and wisdom. Allies can be people, animals, or spiritual religious figures. So, there's not a day that I don't walk by the fucking, the window and see my beings out there. I got plenty of dogs, tons of stuff going on all the time. So, I feel that those are my allies. And then future installation, EMDR therapy not only processes past events, but it also identifies necessary positive beliefs to factor greater choice in the present. For example, once an individual no longer holds the misconception that they are unlovable, they can begin to develop and integrate new positive belief that they are worthy of being loved. Okay? So in practice, visualize a safe, peaceful place, a primary resource. That safe place will best allow you and your body and mind to release the effects of stress and trauma. Think of a place that evokes a feeling of safety and peace. Your place can be real place that you've been. It could be a scene from a movie, or it could be something totally imagined. Some people choose favorite settings in nature, such as sitting near the ocean or by a stream. Some choose to think about a pet or loved one. The main consideration when developing safe place imagery is that it truly feels safe for you. Here, you can use your sense to enhance your imagery. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? When creating a safe place, or a place image, you may notice the need for refinements. That is, your thoughts can get in the way. For example, one woman's peaceful place was a wildflower meadow. During her visualization, a lion entered the scene, interrupting her feeling of safety. I was thinking like a bunch of like hornets or bees, like trauma brain. No, she had a lion show up and mess her up. But when disruptions happen in your safe place, it is actually a signal to create reinforcements to strength. See, I had to fucking freeze him in. Safe. I'm just kidding. I in my head, when we were thinking about this, I was thinking of the willow tree in my aunt's backyard. Okay, it had like a perfect little seat. And when I was little, I couldn't fit up onto that. But once I could get up on there, I was like, yeah, this is my willow tree. And it was a safe place. But, you know, stuff can happen there. Can happen anywhere. Thing like Jason shows up, and, you know. So we want to reinforce our tree with like a big something. I would just do like a magical wall, but you could do a real wall, whatever you want, so that when something comes in, you can still feel safe. In her case, we added a wall around the meadow and placed guards to ensure that no invaders could enter the meadow. You can enhance your own visualizations by adding protectors, bringing in nurturing people, or placing animals that act as allies in your imagined safe place. Take a few moments to write down your safe place visualization. It is helpful to imagine your safe place on a regular basis to strengthen your ability to connect with the positive feelings as needed. Okay, so we'll talk about somatic stuff tomorrow, but that is the thing for today. Come up with your safe place and reinforce it and make it safe. Okay, thank you guys very much. See you soon. Namaste.